Hi guys, it's been a long time since I did a Facebook Live on my business page. So welcome, Happy New Year to you all. I have started again answering a question of the week, or that's my intention. I'm going to start that again from today. So hopefully every Friday I'll be answering a question from one of the ladies in my group. As it happens this week, I got two questions which were very similar. One from Kira saying that she's working on getting in shape. She had a difficult time and is feeling very low, and any advice to push through the negativity around exercise, because she said she was enjoying it before. And Jeanette had said, kind of on similar lines, I think, how do I motivate myself with self-care? Like she's described self-care as being eating nutritiously and exercising. I know the physical benefits from doing that, but she feels like it's always so very hard to stick to. So those are the questions that I want to speak to today. So if you don't know me, my name's Charlie Wall. I have a group which I've tagged above. That's one of my groups, kind of dedicated to helping women find freedom from habits, self-loathing and anxiety. In terms of exercise, as someone who has used exercise, I used to have an exercise business in Cambridge. I understand, morning Steph, I understand the benefits of exercise, as we all do. Like, we all have common sense with regards to exercise and nutrition. Good morning. However, we can sometimes have a lot of thinking around why we should do it, what we should be doing, what we should be eating. And there's all this kind of shoulds and shouldn'ts around exercise and eating well. And what happens is we can very innocently find ourselves getting into like a fog, like our mind will whir up about all the pressures and the judgments about what we think we look like, what we think we should be eating. And as a result, with all that heaviness and busyness and pressure to look a certain way and what that means about us, of course, in that busyness, we actually don't do it. And we don't do it because we've put all this pressure on ourselves to do it, and what that says about us. And it's usually pointing back to, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it. And so then we end up kind of defaulting to, I'll start tomorrow. And I hear this a lot from people. It's that sort of Groundhog Day. I've eaten shit today, or I haven't exercised today, and I'm going to start tomorrow. And so we go on. Now, there's reasons why we have that in our brain. And what I want you to know is that, to me, it's the sign of a very healthy brain that you have like the urges and the cravings that you do. But also that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing inherently wrong with you. And if you can just hear that more than anything in what I'm saying today, when we think there's something wrong with us, when we think there's something to fix, we're looking outside of ourselves for the answer. So that might be, sorry about my dog, she's a bit excited this morning. That might be, I need to exercise because I need to fix how I think I look. All right, that's one way. Another way is, I don't like the way I look, so I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And so we're kind of looking outside of ourselves for the answer to fix how we think we are, right? How we think we are is what's important. Because if we believe that we're broken, if we believe that we're not good enough, if we believe there's something that needs to change, your brain's just going to go, no, I don't really believe you, so I don't really want to do that, and make me start making excuses. Now, the fact is, whenever we do exercise, if we then feel better, we again innocently attribute the exercise as making us feel better. But all that's happened when we do exercise is that we've just kind of got a calmer mind. You know, we've kind of come from a busyness, a self-criticalness, and we go for a run, or we do kettlebells, or we do HIIT, or we do whatever it is, and we get a sense of numbness or escapism or calmness, and we think that's the exercise that's making me feel better. Now, physiologically, of course, there are endorphins and all sorts of things going on, but I have to ask you, like 100% of the time, have you always felt better when you've done exercise? And I bet you the answer will be no. And that's because it's not the exercise that's making you feel better. It's the fact that you had a calmer mind. So if you can ask yourself, in all honesty, when do you feel better? When do you feel calmer? And intuitively, your body will know when to move. If you can take the pressure off yourself around the exercise, around the weight loss, around eating quote unquote well, you'll find that you'll just naturally gravitate towards movement that you want to do, whether that be dancing, walking, horse riding, swimming, like whatever it is that you want to do. You'll feel a pull and a natural urge to do that intuitively, rather than I have to do HIIT and I have to run 5 miles a day and I have to do this. All this pressure that we put on ourselves just leads to us feeling very stressed. It can lead us to feel very anxious. I know I had that in the past. You know, if I didn't exercise, if I couldn't get to exercise one day, I would feel incredibly anxious and find it very, very difficult. So in terms of motivation, motivation is a thought state. You know, like we think we have to have motivation to do whatever it is we want to do. But actually, it comes from a deeper, wiser place. As a woman or as a man, we all have wisdom guiding us. We all have intuition, and we all have access to that. We all have access to insight 100% of the time. So if you feel called to exercise, do it. If you feel called to eat something that you would class as kind of nutritionally sound, then do it. When you hear your thinking that's saying, no, don't do that, it's like, we call it in our group, like the little fucker, don't do that, you're not worth it anyway, you're shit, what's the point, you're never going to lose any weight, da, 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 da. And it goes on and on and on. It kind of narrates your life all the time. When we spend too much time listening to that, it just gets very heavy. It just gets, it can just kind of cause us to feel very stressed and anxious. And of course, the last thing you really want to be doing is going exercising. So what I'm saying to you is that you have access to a calmer mind all the time, whenever you want, if you can just see that that's your natural default state. You don't have to exercise. Okay, you can exercise movement, whatever you know, like you can move in whichever way you see fit. Do something that makes you smile. Do something that you enjoy. Take the pressure off. And once you start seeing that you don't have to get somewhere to be okay, you don't have to be a certain someone to be accepted. If you can accept yourself now in this moment without judgment, then it's more than likely you will be able to go and do what you want to do and choose the right foods if you want to. Now, I talk more about this, certainly the sort of behavioral and psychological aspects of behavior, cravings, our psychology in my group, which I've tagged. I also have an online membership group called She Connects Circle, and I'm starting an 8-week program at the end of this month to really look at behaviors and cravings and urges, whether that be alcohol or food, and self-loathing, to really give you a deeper understanding of how we work and how change is much easier than you think. So please just ping me a message if you want to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Leave any comments. If anything resonated with you, please type below. And I'll talk to you next Friday. Ciao.